everyone, it's Marie, and today I'm filming a video that I've wanted to film for quite a long time. This is a question that I get all the time, and it's how can I become a digital nomad? So how can I take those first steps that will allow me to become location independent, find an online job, and travel full time? This is just some things that I found helped me. Obviously, we all have our own way of becoming digital nomads or living this kind of lifestyle, and my way isn't the only way. I do not claim to be an expert at all. I know I've still got a long way to go, and if you're interested in watching more experienced digital nomads, there are definitely a load of them on YouTube that I would highly recommend. But in these 6 months, I have managed to find myself an online job. I'm managing to live location independent now, and I'm managing to travel full time. So here are the 6 steps that I personally took that helped me become a digital nomad. The first step is, in my opinion, the most important, but it doesn't sound like it is, and it is literally to decide you want to become a digital nomad. So you've got to decide that it's what you want to do. You can't just dream about it or think about it or say, oh, I'll do it in a year or I'll maybe do it. You've got to decide that it is 100% what you're going to do, and that you're going to do it soon, that it is an absolute, it's just what you're going to be. There's no ways around it. The thing with being a digital nomad, it is a lifestyle, and it involves a lot of sacrifices. It involves giving up usually a home base, it involves giving up your job, it involves giving up like 90% of your possessions usually. It involves a lot of commitment. It's not something you can do half-hearted. So you really need to decide that you want this more than anything else in the world, and you've got to put everything you can into doing it. So the second step is to start saving money. And if you want to hear more details about why this is so important, I have actually just filmed a video that goes into much more detail about this step, and I'm going to be uploading it in a couple of days. So I will link it up here when it's uploaded. Definitely have a watch, because it's hopefully going to go into more detail. But basically the idea is that you want to have some kind of money, some sort of financial backing that will support you while you're working towards an online career. I personally think it's really important to have 3 to 6 months expenses saved in the bank. That way you can quit your job, you can become location independent, you can start finding an online job while you're living off your savings. I think this is a really good, effective way of doing it, because most people, they'll start trying to become a digital nomad part-time on the side while they're working a full-time job, and I've personally found that the results are a lot slower, and you just don't get such effective results because you're not putting so much time into it. If you're going to work every day at the office and then you're coming home and just putting a couple hours in the evening into becoming a digital nomad, then it's going to be a lot harder to make being a digital nomad a full-time job if you're only putting in part-time hours. Like, you need to put in full-time hours to see full-time results. Now that is just my opinion. And it is so important to value time over money. So if you have the time to put in all of your effort to finding an online job, you're going to find the job so much quicker. I was able to quit my job in December, and I managed to find a consistent online income by the February. So if you have more of an idea of what you actually want to do, if you have some sort of background in it or experience, you're going to get a job even faster than I did. But all I'm trying to say is that 6 months expenses is a really good amount to have, because it's enough to live on. It'll pay your bills, it'll pay your rent, it'll pay your food. It's more than enough time to find a job, but it also gives you that deadline, which kind of puts a little bit of stress factor into your mind to actually get a job before the funds run out. I hope that what I've just said made sense, and like I said, there's a much longer version that I'll be uploading later, but I just think it's so important to value your time and be able to put full-time hours into finding a full-time income online. Even if you can only save up like £1,000 or £2,000, go for it, save up that amount, and then, like I said, fly yourself off to Thailand or go somewhere where it's cheaper to live and start living the digital nomad life. If you're living it, you'll make it work because you have no other choice. I hope that doesn't sound irresponsible, but I think that it's the best way to do it. Definitely watch Travel Beans, I'll link them down below. They are a couple that have a load of travel experience. They are currently living in Thailand, and they went to Thailand with, I think, around £2,000, maybe less. And they just went for it. They up and went and decided to become digital nomads there and then without a lot of money in the bank, and they've still managed to make it work. Sometimes if you put that pressure on yourself, you're gonna make it work. The third step is to start researching what you want to do. So once you have decided you want to become a digital nomad, once you have started saving up money, it's a really good idea to just start researching becoming a digital nomad. So go on YouTube, look at videos of people that are living the life, go and watch videos on how to become one. Research freelancer platforms like Upwork and Freelancer and People Per Hour and Fiverr, and find out about online teaching and find out about companies that hire remote workers. find out about whether you could make your job remote. Read books like the 4-Hour Workweek by, I can't remember his name, I'll put it here. Just read books, research, find out what you want to do, what kind of work you want to do, learn from others, just absorb your mind with it. Like, that's what I did. I just totally just lived the part through other people, and it's what really helped me commit to it. And the 4th step that I took, and this is the biggest one, is quit your job. Hand in your notice and quit your job. Make it happen. This is like the biggest and most important step. Once you have quit your job, as we were talking about earlier, you have all the time in the world to find online work. You've got nothing holding you back. So there's nothing else I can say for this tip. Just quit your job, take that big step, be brave, go for it, and hope it works out. If it doesn't, you know what? You can get a new job. I mean, at the end of the day, you haven't just quit your job on a whim. You've been smart. You've saved up some sort of expenses for at least a few months. That means, quitting your job wasn't a totally irresponsible thing to do. You're not moneyless. You've got enough money in the bank to live off for a short amount of time. So that gives you time. It buys you time to find your online job, and it gives you the time to focus on it. If you run out of your savings and you haven't found a job by then, you know what? You just have to get a new job. That's the worst thing. You just have to get a new job. But honestly, you will find a job, because I was able to find one, and I have no skills as an online freelancer, and I had no experience. If I could do it, then you can definitely do it. So quit the job, take that big step, and go for it. So once you've quit your job, and presumably you have a consistent online income by now, I'm sure your income will never be consistent because you're working as a freelancer, but once you quit your job and your income is pretty consistent, you can survive off it. Now it's time to kind of let go of your home, let go of your possessions, and get going traveling. Now, as I said earlier, you could have done this at the same time as step 4. There's no reason why you can't. Quit your job and then go traveling at the same time and be location independent at the same time. It's totally your choice. For me, I kept living in my regular home, and I kept that stability until I found an online job, because I wanted that security, and I wanted to know that if I didn't find an online job, I hadn't lost a lot, I hadn't given up all my possessions and all that. So, I still stayed pretty safe, and I stayed in England for the first 3 months after quitting my job. I gave myself a 3-month limit. If I hadn't have found online work by then, I would have had to just go abroad anyway and wing it. But I did. I managed to find my online work. And so the biggest thing for me was handing in the notice on the house and selling all of our furniture, selling, our fridge, our sofa, pretty much 90% of what we owned. We sold everything, and that was the biggest commitment, because it meant it was actually happening. So yeah, that's the 6th step. Once you've quit your job, once you've got a consistent online income, once you've decided to become location independent, get rid of all your possessions that you don't need anymore, put what you can into storage, and get going, take a flight somewhere, and try to live the location independent lifestyle in another country. So I hope that this video helped you. I hope that you can take some kind of advice from it, some kind of insight from it. This is literally what I did, what me and Andy both did in order to become digital nomads and live this lifestyle. I'm not trying to over glamorize it. It's not easy, and there was a lot of struggles, and a lot of times we felt like giving up. It's definitely not easy to do, but if you want it hard enough, you'll make it happen. You can't sit around making excuses. At the end of the day, if you want this hard enough, you'll make it happen. It's something that I really wanted. I've always wanted to travel. Andy really wanted to travel, and for us, we didn't want to take no for an answer. We spent quite a few years making excuses for ourselves, how, I couldn't do it because of my job, I couldn't do it because of my career, I couldn't do it because of my health. I've let tons of things hold me back, and I've made too many excuses. I decided that I was going to stop making excuses myself. We can't all do it the same way. Sometimes we have, circumstances that mean we have to do things differently, but if we want to travel, if we want to work online, we can definitely do it. There's nothing stopping us from doing it. We might have to do it differently than some people, but you can't let certain circumstances hold you back from doing something if it's what you really, really want. I hope that didn't sound too harsh. I really just hope that you can take something from this video. I hope you found it useful. And yeah, this is just what I did. This is what helped me. If you still have any questions, if there's anything I didn't clarify well enough, just leave it in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer it, or I'll make another video on that at a later date. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. and share if you think other people will like it. I make quite a few videos a week talking about my digital nomad journey, traveling full time. I do travel vlogs, I talk about how to find online work, I talk about minimalism or lifestyle, just lots of interesting topics. Quite a few times a week I post videos, so definitely subscribe if you're interested and you want to see more. And so I will see you in the next video. Bye!